This is my favorite album of all time. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So today we're talking about the All American Rejects' second studio album, Move Along. Now, when I first started doing record reviews last year, I really contemplated if I wanted to do the All American Rejects' debut album, which is their self-titled album, or Move Along. And I decided I kind of wanted to go in chronological order for the All American Rejects. And that has actually kind of changed, even though we are right now, because they're releasing a new album, I guess, next January. And I'll make a whole other video talking about that because I'm a big fan of the All American Rejects. They kind of made my childhood, if I'm being real. This band they mean so much to me. I don't have enough great things to say about like all the band members, especially Tyson. I'm really proud of how far he's come as an artist, and we'll definitely be talking about his other band. So before we talk more about the album, though, I gotta show you guys the packaging. And let's start with the disc, because this one has a special disc. This disc is a smoky gray colored disc, and it's actually really cool pattern. And despite how it looks, it sounds really good. So that's the worry I have with a lot of picture discs, is that they sound like garbage. So that's just another reminder to you guys, if you haven't seen my Lion King review, don't get the Disney picture discs unless you're just planning on displaying them, because they sound like shit. I almost reviewed the Aristocats soundtrack just to say avoid it. avoid it, because it sounds awful. But yeah, now we have the disc out of the way. Let's take a look at the rest of the packaging. Alright, so here we got the artwork from Move Along. Few things I want to point out. This album is unfortunately the box release. It's not in the best of conditions. You can see like in the corner here, it's kind of like that. Then it's kind of hard to tell, fortunately, but if you're up close, you can kind of tell. There's like some. It's kind of like rare, like wear on like Tyson's shirt, kind of down here too. It kind of also, but it does kind of fit the vibe. Like here, it's kind of black. It might be intentional. I don't know, because I got this from a guy off eBay, because I wanted it when it first came out, but when I pre-ordered it at my local record store, but there was an issue with it or something, and I just never got it, so they ended up refunding me and all that. So, interestingly enough, this is actually inverse color of what the CD and the on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, because usually it's really a white background with like kind of like gray outlines of them. They decided to invert that for this, and I like this better, honestly. Either way, I would have loved it, but because the album is awesome. But yeah, we got the whole band there. Very cool. I've always liked this style. Yeah, we got the Move Along sticking out in all red. It's smaller, but you know. Yeah. Looking in here, we got the lyrics. It's hard to tell because they literally have most of it like handwritten, which I do think is a unique kind of touch on it, because in a way it's artwork too. It doubles as artwork, which I think is really cool. The back, it's the same it's the same deal. They inverted it from the CD, which also I like. I like seeing the white silhouettes. That's actually kind of cool. Numbers are red, just like the title. Then in here also, it's a cool photos of them and some credits on the back there. I will say, if there was one critique I have, this is like very flimsy. It's like normal paper. It's not like PVC or anything that's like easier to maintain. So that's my one critique. Otherwise, this album is awesome. So yeah, overall, I do love this version of this album. So one thing I do want to say, there is an easier version of this to get. So if you do love this album still, like the songs on it, you can get one pretty easily online. The problem is it's like holographic, and I'm not a big fan of holographic looking vinyls, kind of. So The chances of actually finding this online, you'll probably have to go through eBay because they don't. This was like a limited pressing of it. If they ever did like re-release this particular version of it, I would 100% try to go for that. But if you just want to hear it, you can still get the album online. But this was a really cool version of it that I wanted to show off. And yeah, let's get back to talking about this album. Where do I start? This album just like, the first time I heard Move Along, I remember exactly where I was. I was in front of the TV. I think I was watching like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, one of those two. And a Bionicle commercial comes on. If you've watched my channel, last spring I actually talked about a Bionicle fan game, and I talked about how it got canceled. And I covered that game when the initial trailer came out for it, the first kind of demo trailer. So I have been a huge Bionicle fan, which drew me to the song Move Along. And then when I had a friend kind of get me into mainstream music, because I really just listened to Kids Bop when I was like really little. But then when I became like a preteen, I started actually listening to just legit music. And yeah, I listened to Move Along. It was the first album I ever listened to front to back and like loved. Is it a perfect album? No, it really isn't. It has mainly hits. It's almost all hits. There's like one song on here I don't like. All the rest of it is just fantastic. Obviously, Move Along being the title track, it is the best song. Like, that's not always the case. Like, for example, I'll get to it in the future. GNX by Kendrick Lamar that came out last year. I think GNX is actually the worst song on that album, but that's just me. But yeah, Move Along, best banger. And this album, the last time I like sat down and listened to the lyrics of all the songs, I realized something. And I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but I think this album has a story to it about a toxic relationship, because it starts with the song Dirty Little. Okay, so we got Tyson and we got a girl. We'll call her Stacy. Why not? So Dirty Little Secret is probably sung by Stacy's point of view, and she's cheating on Tyson. That's why it's called Dirty Little Secret, and it kind of is about cheating in a way. Then he gets stabbed in my back, and from there we have Tyson's point of view, where he finds out she cheated, and he's like, wow, you really just stabbed me in the back. Well, okay, well. And then he realizes, you know what? I've had enough of this chick. It's time to move along. It's time to move on from that relationship. And then tonight is about probably in the story-wise, breaking up. And then it's like they get back together, and then Straight Jacket Feeling is when he's like, you know what? I feel like I'm really kind of trapped, but I don't want to be anymore. And then Can't Take It at the end is kind of like him finally leaving this person for good. That's how I interpreted it while listening to the lyrics. I do think like they all stand on their own too. I just think that's like a world building thing that they probably could have done. So if they wanted to tell like a long cohesive story, well, there you go. Now, one complaint I kind of had about the original, their first album that they improved upon, is that the complaint I had with the original self-titled was that there were too many love songs. It was only love songs. I know it says there's like a love story, but like you got songs that aren't just about lovey-dovey. Like you got Move Along, obviously. Can't Take It could really be about anything. It's in the context of the album, it seems like it's a breakup song, but like on its own, it could be not. In a way, they really improved of kind of stepping away from the sort of love song fatigue I got from the first album. And yeah, I feel like most, if not almost all American Rejects fans can agree this is for sure their best album. I highly recommend, if you can get a hold of any version of this album, get it. If you have not listened to this album before, please do yourself a favor and do it. If punk rock's not your thing, though, then maybe still give it a listen. Just give it a try, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. But yeah, if you're a fan of early 2000s music, if you're an All American Rejects fan especially, I just can't say not to get any version of this album that you can. I know right now, I said it in the packaging part, this is not an easy version of the album to come across, sadly. This album will always hold a special place in my heart, even if I do have a new favorite album. Like, this will always be near the top, if anything. So I want to know in the comments down below, what's your favorite album of all time? Who's your favorite artist of all time? Also, let me know, have you listened to Move Along? And what is your favorite song off the album? If you're an All American Rejects fan, what's your ranking of All American Rejects albums? Because I think this is number 1. And then, I mean, I could do a whole short talking about the list maybe after their next album. I think it's going to be called Sandbox comes out. Just a little reminder, I do have a Spotify playlist at the bottom down below of all my favorite songs from each record review I do. Move Along will be added to that playlist for sure. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell when you do, and yeah, so long and good night.
Do you have a song that you've written that you're the most proud of?
Good question.
Yeah, man. I think the one that I didn't expect, you know, where I'm in a hotel and there's a guy coming up to me when I'm checking out and he's like, hey, man, I just want to let you know I bought 2 tickets to this concert and was only able to redeem 1 because my brother, he passed. He's like, but I want to let you know, Move Along, every day that gave him more life and more will to live. And I looked at him and I was, full body goosebumps, just going like, man, I might be a bad dude sometimes, but that guy made me feel like a pretty good guy.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's awesome.
Maybe I got a little blank check into heaven because maybe that guy kind of got another 6 months with his brother or some shit.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
don't
cool.
know.